Hey everyone, blessings. So I'm back from my trip and I'm glad I got my all my videos and pictures of, my family trip out of the way because I've really been wanting to get back to posting some videos talking about some real issues. And I'm kind of wondering why nobody told me to go live. I had to wait a whole 24 hours before I could actually go live. I would have requested to go live weeks ago had I known that it had to be enabled first. So, with that being said, I tried to actually go live for the first time today, but now I'm having to wait a whole 24 hours just to be able to do it. So I am having to record this one, and hopefully in the next day or so I'll be able to do a live stream for you guys, because I do want to start doing more with my YouTube, as you can see. So um since I've been on vacation, I've been thinking of a few things, but what I really wanted to get into is the Christian faith and spiritual warfare. Because what I'm finding is, especially in Christianity, is that we have become so vulnerable and it's become so corrupt. And it's because we have because the Christian community, they have no spiritual weapons, and no even armor to protect themselves. And the reason being is because with the Christian faith, through what I've experienced growing up, is that Christians in particular seem to have a real anxiety and a real vex against anything they deem um to be, witchcraft or satanic. I feel like the Christian community especially, they are so quick to demonize any and everything that doesn't fit into their specific category of Christianity or what's Christ like, which I think is really it's really sad. And then also, I mean, it just goes to show just how tampered with the Christian faith has been, tampered with, through the many centuries and decades. I feel like Christianity has just become weak because we have not been open to advice and open to receiving spiritual warfare tools. We've kind of just pushed it off to the side and just deemed it as, witchcraft or satanic and all these kind of stuff. And which some of these things, if you believe too deeply in it, or if you believe only in these things, then that's when it really can become demonic and satanic. But I do believe that some of these things we should be doing because it strengthens your spirituality. It gives you protection. It can give you protection if you use it in the right ways. But the thing is, Christianity has just become so weak because, you know Christians depend solely and fully just on Jesus Christ, in this in this belief that all I need is Jesus. Jesus will return and protect me and all these things, which is true. But I do think, having some knowledge, of spirituality will also help you. It's like when you go into any battle, you have weapons and tools that you use. Prayer is a big, 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 big tool. Prayer is the best and biggest tool and weapon in spiritual warfare you can have. But there's other things too that I feel like Christians, Israelites, or any true believer could be using to help protect them even more. And so, with that being said, I wanted to go into astrology and science. These things are pieces of the knowledge of the Almighty One. Astrology and science, they do hold some truth. There's a lot there, they do hold truth. There's a lot of Christians out there who will just automatically say this is not of God, this is of the devil, and Satan and all these things. What I believe is that astrology could be one of the purposes given to one of the fallen angels. And like anything, God created these angels, right? So they all served a purpose in heaven. So with that being said, astrology did serve a purpose in heaven, and it is a piece of the knowledge of the Almighty One. Yes. The thing is that I do believe that a lot of why God says don't believe in these things fully is because a lot of people get carried away with astrology to where they only believe in astrology and they leave God completely out. And this is a part of, if you only believe in astrology, then you're believing in the satanic realm, and you're putting all your faith in this fallen angel, right? You don't want to go that route. Don't only believe in astrology. This is just a piece of God. There's many pieces, many pieces of God. This is just one small amount. This is just one small piece of it. And that's why it's a really scary thing when you get really involved in just astrology. I do believe that there are some people that God has chosen to give this knowledge of astrology to. Maybe he's trying to replace that fallen angel as another aspect. Who knows? But I do think that a lot of people do get carried away with the astrology, and they start to only believe in and depend on astrology alone. And that's when you're going into falsely idolizing this fallen angel, this one piece of the Almighty One. But I do believe, and the thing is, this is also a piece of God. So I do believe that even just acknowledging it, and it's good to not put all your faith into it, but just acknowledge it, and learning about it is a great way to strengthen your faith in God, and also gain a better understanding of everything, because all the pieces start to line together, and the more pieces you start to align together, the stronger your faith becomes, and the stronger you become spiritually. The more prepared you are for the battle, the more prepared you are for spiritual warfare. So that's a piece that I wanted to get into about astrology. Also with science is the same way. Science is just one aspect of the Almighty One, the Most High. A lot of times with these scientists, they believe in science alone, and then they leave God out. But this is just a piece of God, right? And when you start only believing in science, I do believe that this is more of a satanic belief. This is not one of the fallen angels. This is science, is Satan's realm, And when you start only believing in science, then that can get really dangerous. And the thing with science is you might know out of the 5 W's, you might know when and where and then you might kind of know, you might get a glimpse into how, but you won't get all the questions. You won't know why, what, um but you will get to figure out kind of when it happened, where it happened, and kind of how, but you won't know what and why. And that's because that's because you're basing it completely off. That's because a lot of these scientists base it completely off science, and they don't have the full spectrum of everything, because you're leaving God out, and God is the creator of everything. So yes, there's truth in science. There is some truth in science, but you won't get the full spectrum of everything. You leave stuff out when you start only believing in science alone, and you will never get the full answers you're looking for. And that's where things become a little bit antsy, because I don't want to put my faith in only science, because that leaves a lot of things out of it, and then that leaves you very vulnerable and susceptible to a lot of things, because you won't have the full scope, and you won't get the full answers. And I don't that would be a really tough world to live in. Like, for example, that's like living in a world blindfolded, right? You can't see what you can hear. It's like half walking, or you can see but you can't hear. you know um Also, with crystals and stones, as you might see on my Instagram, I wear like the clear crystal, and then I do have jasper stones that I do have in my house. Like I said, I had to stop burning sage because I felt like it was inviting demonic entities into my house. So I stopped doing that. Don't burn sage. Don't do it. That's my opinion. Don't burn sage. But as far as crystals and stones, I feel like some of them can help you spiritually. Um, it can have some positive impacts in your life. Like I said, don't depend on stones alone. Depend on God. God is the only is the one that can protect you. God is the one that God in prayer and reading your Bible. Those are the top three things you should do. But I do believe that some crystals and stones can help give you some protection, and raise your vibrations. I would suggest that you do your studying independently to figure out what stones are best for you. But I do have the clear crystal stone, and then I do have jasper stones. And then you can look up those just to see, you know, the meaning of those, and the types of vibrations they bring to you in your home. Because like a lot of people say, this is spiritual warfare. And are you prepared for the battle? Are you ready for the battle? you know what 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 armor do you have? Are you truly prepared for this spiritual warfare? Are you just you know walking around blindly, just praying to some God to protect you, and you don't even know your God's real name? So another thing I want to talk about is, people like to have so much anxiety, and like to, I don't know, like have so much problems with, like, most certain movies that people watch. Like, now I watched Harry Potter, And then just recently I watched it again, and there's a lot of people like, I don't really watch Harry Potter or anything like that. I don't watch witchcraft or anything like that. But just like any movies that you learn from, just like when you watch The Simpsons, or when you watch The Matrix, or even when you watch The Wizard of Oz, everything has meaning in them. Even with Harry Potter, like recently I just watched it because I just had an inkling to watch it like last month, and I literally watched every single movie. And it it's so current, like the spiritual warfare that's going on, and you can learn so much from these movies because they are already foreseeing what's happening. They were already telling you some of the things that has happened and is happening now. And so I think that's what's kind of like what weakens the Christian community. Is like some people just won't even watch it at all, but these watching it just gives you insight, and it makes you wiser and better knowledgeable of what's going on today. Like even in the first Harry Potter, in the first one, there was a scene where Harry was staring in a mirror, and he just like he could not leave the mirror. Like it seemed like every night he kept going back to the mirror, kept going back to the mirror, kept going back to the mirror, and just staring all night, staring at the mirror. And the mirror kept showing him and his friend Ron like what he wanted to see. Like it kept showing Harry his parents, and Ron, it showed him himself winning the Wimbledon, I believe, or something like that. And it shows you the things you want the most, and you can get lost just staring at it. And I said, how relevant is that with like social media and stuff? How people just sit on there for hours and hours to where they just get lost in it, because it shows them the things they desire the most, right? So that was like symbolism right there. And it was a lot of symbolism in the Harry Potter. If people just take the time to watch it, you can learn a lot, and you can actually grow from it, if you're not too scared to watch it. And so that's just what I wanted to talk about today. I hope this message reaches those who needs to hear this message. In Jesus Yeshua's mighty name, I pray. Amen.